Welcome to Arizona Business Spotlight. I missed you. I'm so glad you're back. You have your pen and paper ready, I'm sure, because there's going to be a lot of information going out today. And we know that this is a show about startups, entrepreneurs, innovators, the best of the state of Arizona with businesses. So you're going to learn a great deal today. Joining me today, we have Chip Norton from Salt Mine Wine, and also two international interns that are working with the Economic Development Group there in Camp Verde. So it's all about the town of Camp Verde today, but we can all learn and glean something. So be listening and have your pen and paper ready. Joining me right now in studio is Chip Norton. He's a co-owner, and I love that Hawaiian shirt that you got going on there. I'm feeling very, very tropical with the ficus trees and your shirt and the wine. You can never go wrong with wine. Salt Mine Wine. Right there, salt and wine. Two of my favorite things. Can't go wrong with that. Where did you come up with the title for your wine?
Well, it's place-based. From our vineyard, we're located on Salt Mine Road, which is named after Salt Mine Wine, which is a prehistoric salt mine in Camp Verde. It was one of, I think, only two salt mines that in northern Arizona that were part of rituals of Native Americans, and a lot of the Native American tribes would journey to Camp Verde to mine salt. So again, and with our business, I mean, it's important to us that it's place-based. So you can sit up there on the patio up at our vineyard, and you can look across and see the salt mine. It was mined later in the 1920s after the European settlement, and until it was no longer economically feasible to mine it. But anyway, when you look out from the patio at our vineyard, you're looking right at the salt mine, and if you look a little further to the east, you're looking at the Verde River and the cottonwoods and willows along the Verde River. So it's a great view.
That's gorgeous. And you are working Salt Mine Wine with your brother, so this is a family business?
It's a family business. My brother and I, it's one of our encore careers. When we retired from our career.
Yay! Everybody out there that loves wine is like, thank you, Chip, thank you.
We were in a family construction business together, and our family's pretty close, and then we decided to do something that had a little less pressure on it, that we didn't need the money to pay the mortgage, but just something that we loved and wanted to do. And my brother really loves wine. He's always wanted to make wine and grow wine grapes. So it was a good fit for us to get in the business. And we actually, speaking of a family affair, my mother's painting's on the label. So
I love your labels. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, she was an artist, and so it's all in the family. And it's all about the place, too.
Well, what a great legacy. That's what I hear when you're talking. You hear your mother was an artist. She'd be very proud of her sons working together just to get your children to work together.
She liked it. She would be proud that we're not arguing, because we do that a lot as well.
As a mother of three, I think that's the greatest gift that children can give their parents is get along. Maybe you can have a winery someday.
Yeah, right.
You know, you mentioned the Native Americans and mining salt, and I think of salt and wine as being very medicinal. Isn't it interesting the history of wine when you look back to Mesopotamia, to Greece, to how wine was used and how it's evolved?
Yeah. Well, I think the salt part's very elemental, and again, when you look at the cultural heritage in the Verde Valley, and as evidenced by the national monuments here, Montezuma Castle and Tuzagut, and all the native peoples that lived here, and salt was so important to them. I don't think they had any vineyards, but they certainly had agriculture here, and so there's always been an agricultural heritage in the Verde Valley.
Again, it's a continuation of legacy and what went before, whether it's your mother with her paintings on your bottles of wine, or the Native Americans and working the ground and working with nature. So much is happening in Camp Verde. I am just celebrating the town of Camp Verde. Here on Arizona Business Spotlight, we've interviewed JT Bistro, now you, and then also we're going to be having some international interns on that are working with Economic Development Committee there. So a lot of great things happening in the town of Camp Verde. Why did you pick that specific area to grow your vineyards?
Well, I think it was more we picked.
It picked you?
I picked Camp Verde as a place to live. My wife and I, we actually met in the Grand Canyon, and we wanted to pick a place where we had access to the outdoors. We're both outdoors people, so we wanted a place with a good climate where we could do a lot of good outdoor stuff. We wanted to live in a small town with friendly people, and we're both very interested in being in a place that had active agricultural concerns going. So when we were looking around in the central valleys of Arizona for, the place where we wanted to dig in and, spend the rest of our lives, the reason Camp Verde rose to the top was, again, the cultural heritage, but there's so much really great stuff going on there in terms of agricultural stuff, a small scale that's readily accessible. We've got Hauser Farms and their sweet corn. Down the street from us is a You Pick 'em tomato stand where you go pick produce, and it's on the honor system. You put money in a can and then you go out and pick your own produce. There's a great farmers market there.
The heart.
And then with the wine thing getting going in the Verde Valley, it just seemed, and at Clear Creek Vineyard and Winery, Ignacio already had I think he's got some of the oldest vines in the Verde Valley, and to see the kind of wine that he was producing, we thought this is a good fit. This is the right place.
Lots of vineyards, a lot of things going on here in Verde Valley. We're going to be talking about your wine specific and the difference between red and white and what you have available and how people can order that in just a moment. More Arizona Business Spotlight. Don't go anywhere. Talking wine today.
This is important news from the Diabetic Supply Line. If you, a friend, or a family member has diabetes and you have lost your supplier, or if you need a supplier for your diabetic supplies, you may qualify to get your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. To be potentially eligible, you only need Medicare or private insurance. Call the Diabetic Supply Line now. Operators are standing by to take your call. Call now.
Welcome back to Arizona Business Spotlight. I feel like I should have a wine glass here. We're talking with Chip Norton, Salt Mine Wine. Chip, my brother sent me a present for Mother's Day. It was 3 bottles of wine and a wine glass that said Mommy Medicine on it.
That's perfect.
We talked about wine being medicinal in different cultures. We know in France and Spain, they drink wine almost like water. It's just commonplace there. Do you feel like the wine is integrating more into the American culture? And I enjoy wine. They say red wine's good for your heart.
Well, my wife believes that.
I like your wife already.
And she has a strong heart. So yeah, I don't know all the statistics about wine in the American culture, but I know that when I was growing up, that most of the men that were in my dad's business, they drank beer, and now, and I'm still very tied into the construction industry as far as knowing a lot of people. Now they drink beer and wine.
Right.
So I think the answer is yes.
So tell us a little difference between red and white wine, and the varieties that you have at Salt Mine Wine.
Well, all of our varietals are Italian, and I think that goes back to separate trips that my brother and his wife went to Italy at one time, and my wife and I did. And in traveling around Europe, we both just fell in love with the Italian wine. And I think a lot of that gets back to what I mentioned earlier. I think it was place-based, and it's being at that place, drinking that wine, really had an impact on us. We have one white wine, which is a Malvasia Bianca, which we did our first harvest this year, and
congratulations.
Yeah,
that's a lot of grapes.
And then we have quite a few red wines. We have a Sangiovese, which is a primary wine, typically in Chianti. We have Barbera, Montepulciano, Aglianico, Primitivo, and probably a couple other trunk twisters in smaller quantities. But so we focused on the Italian wines, and just our idea was, let's grow Italian wines in this place in Camp Verde, near the salt mine, near the Verde River, and just have it be a place-based vineyard and winery where you can buy good and drink good Italian wines.
I've heard that about Italian wines. My mother-in-law traveled all over Italy, and she said that it's a different flavor and a bite to it that is just so, it's not a bite. In other words, it's very smooth. So where can we get your wines at?
Well,
or order?
Right now I would suggest you go to our website. And again, we're a little premature with the interview. It's going to be a couple weeks before it's up. Or you can call my brother, and I think you've got the phone number up there. So yes. Either go to our website, be patient for a couple weeks, and there'll be information on how to buy our wine. And if you want to harass my brother, you can call the phone number and pester him. The wine is available now, but we're a little bit out front with the interview as to having the setup for people to come up and buy it at the vineyard.
Well, we're getting there, and it's a process, and you bring that up. So saltminewine.com, just keep checking that, write it down, because we're going to be testing this wine, and I know it's going to be delicious, so I'm excited about that. Maybe not right now on the show, but saltminewine.com, keep checking for that website. It's under construction, and we're talking about, on this show, Arizona Business Spotlight, and it is spotlighting the process of a business. And you just mentioned a very good point. It's that, marketing and advertising and creating top of mind awareness, you can never do enough of that. And being that wine that eventually people will be ordering for celebrations and for Mother's Day, and they can come out and hopefully soon in stores.
Well, I think what we're going to start out with is that the agritourism approach, where people can come up to the vineyard on the weekend to buy wine. But I think in the not too distant future, there'll be we'll have a tasting room, probably working with some other vintners in Camp Verde. And because I think Camp Verde is prime for this kind of business.
Camp Verde's amazing. It's booming. And so what would you say to somebody watching right now that has an idea or a dream, or they want to make that shift transition from working, you said, to their dream job or something that they've always wanted to do?
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. And just don't lose sight of that dream. That if you don't quit, there's a really strong possibility it'll happen.
That's a common thread, that perseverance that I've been hearing for all the great Arizona businesses, is just to keep on keeping on.
Right.
Is there any last thing you'd like to share with our viewers about the wines, or anything?
Yeah, there were a lot of lessons. Initially we also own a parcel down by the river, and we did a 1 acre trial vineyard there, and found out that spring frost was just a tough thing to overcome. But we learned a lot on a small scale. So approaching things from a realistic pilot program perspective can be good, rather than making a big investment on something that you're learning about. And so we learned from that, and with that information, we picked the right place. And these vines are just doing wonderful.
Chip, thank you again for coming on Arizona Business Spotlight. We'd like to have you back on. Bring your wife next time so she and I can talk about the mommy medicine. Okay. Salt Mine Wine, in-house. Thank you again, Chip. What a great show. We'll be back with more Arizona Business Spotlight in just a moment.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Get the first American home warranty plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people?
If you don't have First American warranty, get it.
It's absolutely worth it.
Call 1-800-590-2166 for a free no-obligation quote.
Welcome back to Arizona Business Spotlight. We're having a great time. It's all about the town of Camp Verde. And right now joining me, we have international interns, Jessica Ponitz from Germany. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Camp Verde is just this amazing little Arizona town.
Oh, yeah.
That's blossoming and being a model for the rest of the state. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way being there?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think Camp Verde is such a lovely town. It's really small, but I think the people are so, they're so nice, and everything is so great. I love it here.
You know, people listening to you right now are probably going, wait a minute, that's not an Arizona accent, that's a German.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jesse, you come from Germany.
Yeah, I am.
And you come from a small town outside of Stuttgart?
Yeah, it's a small town. It's like Camp Verde, and it's called Keltern. Yeah, and
beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah, it is. It's really popular for their wine and for the forest areas. It's really great.
You know, I'm getting a theme here on the show today. It's all about wine. So you got wine going on in Germany and wine here in Camp Verde. Oh, yeah. And you're working with the town manager there in Camp Verde.
Yeah. I'm an intern. An intern in Camp Verde, and I'm working with Russ. So he's the town manager of Camp Verde, and yeah, I'm following him, shadowing him, and go to meetings with him. And I also do a project for him. It's about benchmarking and compare different cities in the Yavapai County, and in area of Texas or.
How exciting! Now, how do you go from Germany to Arizona, Camp Verde? I mean, where did that connection happen? Was it at university level or?
Yeah, I'm a student in Germany, and I'm at the University of Applied Science in Kiel. It's near France, so.
Near France.
Yeah, and the connection, so my university offers the students to go and do an internship abroad, and I thought about having an internship in America. And a friend of mine, he told me that her grandma, she's living in Germany, her sister is living here in Camp Verde. So she offers me to go to the town hall and ask for it to do an internship there.
That is so exciting. I love to hear the backstory of how you go from place A to place B, but it really is a journey. But you just have to be open to that, right? And
you have to. America is so different to Germany, so yeah, but I really love it.
What is it about America? We born and raised here from Arizona, but what is it about the America dream, perhaps, or just what do you see about America that could give people hope and about being in business and things like that?
Yeah. I think especially, for example, in Camp Verde, there are a lot of more potential to have more advertising to their business. So they should do more advertising, because when I was in Camp Verde, I searched about Camp Verde in the internet and stuff like this, restaurants, for example, and I can't find a lot of. So
right. We love you hearing you say about advertising and marketing, because on Arizona Business Spotlight, that's really our focus.
Yeah.
It is about becoming the purple cow in the marketplace where you stand out from the competition, whether that's social media or traditional media.
Yeah.
So Facebook and things like that, time is a great equalizer, and internet is a great equalizer.
Oh yeah.
You can have a business in Camp Verde and reach folks back home in Germany.
Yeah, that's right.
With your product.
We have our businesses in Germany use also Facebook and stuff like this, but not all businesses.
Right.
I think there's more potential.
So it's a process. So what are you going to take back to Germany that you learned with the town of Camp Verde?
With the town of Camp Verde, I think to be more, to be more, how should I say this? I learned a lot about management stuffs, like benchmarking, what I'm doing now. And I learned a lot of my personality, because I learned, I met so many different people, and they're all so nice to me. They want to hear my story, and they want to know more about Germany. So I think that's the German people could more be like that.
And you're now going to be an ambassador for us from Arizona and from Camp Verde when you go back to Germany.
Yeah.
So thank you. They sent a beautiful, thank you, Germany. You should see the single guys walking around here at Verde Valley TV. They're like, who is that? So I'm sorry, boys, she's taken. So. But thank you again for making that jump over the Atlantic and coming to Arizona and bringing us new innovative ideas and businesses, and then taking some back with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a big shout out to the town of Camp Verde, the economic development team, the town manager.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here. So.
Yes, so Steve and Sebra and all of them there have worked very hard with you, and the town manager.
Yeah.
So
That's
thank
really
you, and love to Germany. All right.
Thank you.
More international internship in just a moment on Arizona Business Spotlight. Don't go anywhere.
A message from the Pulaski Law Firm. You started there right out of high school, learned your trade and did it well. And the asbestos you handled, well, that was just part of the job. If you worked in the trades and were diagnosed with mesothelioma, get the best care available, then call us. You may be entitled to financial compensation without ever going to court.
Call 800-237-0933.
And see how we can help. Mesothelioma, don't fight it alone.
We're back, Arizona Business Spotlight. It's all about international business today, talking with Town of Camp Verde international interns. Joining me right now is Harriet Bui from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Did
Yeah,
I say
I'm
it
from
right?
Vietnam.
Bui is your last name.
Yes, that's my last name.
Harriet, thank you for coming out to be on Arizona Business Spotlight. I know that sometimes it can be intimidating coming to a new country, but let alone coming to a new country and being on TV.
I know. This is exciting.
But we're so glad you're here today. So glad.
Thank
and
you.
Big shout out to Steve and Sebra with the Town of Camp Verde Economic Development team out there. So passionate about growing businesses in the community. And is that what you studied in Vietnam, business?
I actually study in the States. Yeah,
In the States?
I got my bachelor in economics at Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. And I'm a scholar of PEO, philanthropic educational organizations who give
Say that 3 times.
who give scholarship for women to study in the States. So, and there's a PEO living in Camp Verde, and she is a good friend of Steve, and she knew that Steve was looking for an intern, and that's how she connected him with me after my graduations. And because the topic I was most interested in why I was at school was economic development, so I decided to take the internships. Yeah.
What is it about economic development that gets you excited and passionate?
It's all about equalities. So there's a lot of, you can imagine there's a lot of wealth and food produced in the world that could feed the whole world populations. But the problem with poverty and low income and inequality is how the benefit got distributed. For example, like it's not about the fact that we lack food. It's about the fact that too much food is concentrated in one area and not the other area. And so because economic development is about improving the well-being of people, so that's why I'm very interested in it. Plus, I'm coming from developing countries.
Yes.
And so that's what I hope to learn and to help my country in the futures to become more developed.
It really is about that balance and equity and equality, and
Right.
what do we need to do for accommodations or modifications to help others around the world. Like you said, there's plenty for everybody,
Right.
but we have these groups, these have and have-nots. So what you're doing in the town of Camp Verde is developing a model, I believe, that can go around the world.
Well, people in Camp Verde are trying to focusing on tourism to bring more tourists into the town, because Camp Verde does have a lot of historical and outdoor potentials and sustainable developments through agricultures and small farmings. And so I think that's a really great models to go, because people need to be aware of where their food comes from,
Right.
in order to grow sustainably, instead of getting food from places that are unhealthy or deploying other people's labors without bringing any benefits to them. And so that's what I learned a lot from Sarah and Steve. Sarah is also very passionate about bringing tiny houses to the town of Camp Verde. Tiny houses is a new movement for a new way of living, actually, that help you not attach to just one place, help you like compact your inside living space in order to live more outdoor, in order to be more interactive outside. And so it promotes active living. And a lot of research has shown that a lot of upcoming millennials are traveling around places instead of just staying fixed in one place. And so it's in order to attract a more younger workforce into the Camp Verde, Sarah's trying very hard herself to develop a tiny house community in Camp Verde.
That is amazing. And with social media as well, you know, you can go into Twitter Nation and Facebook Nation and let people see, because there's, like you say, there's a whole tiny house nation.
Right.
There's a whole TV show about it where people are like traveling around with their homes.
I know.
Like what you're saying. I'm just mesmerized by the information that you're sharing, because it is so on point with being, instead of a materialist, a minimalist, and again, sharing those resources. How many bedrooms do we need when there's only two people? How many TVs do we need in a house? Right? And we're not all outdoors. We're not living outdoors. We're living inside our four walls.
That's right. So I think a lot of young people are, instead of looking for material towards develop towards materialism, but they value experience more. And so that's what one thing that social media contribute, because people share their experience online. And so it's the fact that you got to see what other experience in their own lives that make social media so attractive.
Thank you so much, Harriet. I'm so glad the town of Camp Verde sent their two awesome, dynamic international interns to be on Arizona Business Spotlight. I've learned a whole lot today. I'm going to look into this tiny house. I need to look into this. I really do.
Definitely.
We need to have you guys back on sometime.
Sure.
So as you're learning more, come back on the show, and then we'll expand and maybe enlarge that model, and we can help the rest of the world with that.
That's great, yeah.
Thank you so much again, Harriet.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll be back with more Arizona Business Spotlight in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to give you the tip of the day. It's coming up next.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Get the first American home warranty plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people?
If you don't have First American warranty, get it.
It's absolutely worth it.
Call 1-800-590-2166 for a free no-obligation quote.
Back with Arizona Business Spotlight. What a great show. I can't wait to go home tonight and have my mommy medicine. Thank you to Chip Norton and Salt Mine Wine. What a legacy. What a story. Beautiful bottles with the artwork from his mother. Just a great story. He and his brother, innovators, entrepreneurs, doing it up in Camp Verde. Just so proud of those guys. And also, speaking of town of Camp Verde, are their international interns. What gorgeous ladies they were. Harriet and Jessica representing Germany and Vietnam very graciously, and also now Arizona ambassadors back to their own communities. So we learned a lot today. I told you you would. So be sure to always have your pen and paper and pencil ready when you watch Arizona Business Spotlight, because you're going to receive all sorts of incredible business tips that can help you from the startup to the home-based business, to the local business, to the great corporation. We're here for you. Don't forget that. Helen at verdevalleytv.com if you'd like to email me with your comments or suggestions. If you would like to be a guest on Arizona Business Spotlight, I would love to interview you and hear your story, because it's all about the journey. We heard that today. Perseverance, right? You can do it. You can, you will. Business tip of the day: never give up, never surrender, keep on keeping on. You can do it. What you respect, you'll attract. It's all about the customer. We'll see you next time here on Arizona Business Spotlight. For Verde Valley TV, I'm Helen Gibson. Thank you for joining us. Good day.